Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. My name's Teresa and I'm the car boot crafter, and I've got the camera on today because I'm in the craft room making little gift boxes. Now I was scrolling through Pinterest as you do, and I saw a video, just a very basic video of putting together a little baseball cap gift box, and I thought I really like that idea. But they used that foam stuff, which I haven't got any and I've never used it, and you needed lighters and all sorts of different glues and what have you, and I thought, oh, can't be doing with all that. So I thought I'm sure I could come up with how to make it using cardboard. So I sat down, got my rulers out, and this was my first attempt at it, which is, I mean, it's okay, but I wasn't that keen on it. It didn't sit quite right just yet, so I had another go, and I've used Poundland papers, the coloured card from Poundland, to do them, because it's cheap as chips, isn't it? So I don't mind if I mess it up and have to put it in the bin. So I use these and then use my nice card for later on if I'm kind of making up something or constructing something. So I then did this one, which I think sits much better, and is much more sturdier as well. So I altered the measurements and what have you, and I just think that one looks so much better. So now I'm going to have a go using my my proper card. So to start off with, you'll need some strips of card that measure 10 inches by 2, and that will be your the inside, that will be this bit. And you'll need a piece that is 10 1/4 by 3 inches wide, and that will be the top of the baseball cap. You'll also need 2 pieces of card that measure 3 by 4 3/4 and 2 3/4 by 4 1/2, and you'll see all the measurements in the description box below. And all you do is keep one end squared off, but at this end just get your corner round, and I've just used my X-cut and corner rounded those two. And if you haven't got a corner rounder, or you don't like that, if you want something a bit deeper than that on your baseball cap, then freehand it. See how that works. That might be you might be better freehand than I am. So that forms this bit of the cap, the bottom, the base, if you like. But I'm not going to glue them together just yet. Because if I glue them together and it goes horribly wrong, then I've wasted a lot of cards. So I'm not going to glue them together just yet. So I'm going to pop this all to one side. We also need 6 pieces of 1 1/2 by 1 1/2 cards, and I'll explain why when we get to it. I'm using a hexagonal for inside my gift box. That'll go in there, and that's a die that I've got, a 3-inch die, so point to point is 3 inches. But if you haven't got a hexagonal, either draw it out, print it out, do your own, or even a circle would do. It's just to go inside and make inside look a bit better, and also to hold your hexagonal. I think it's a hexagonal, 6-sided. Let me know if I'm wrong, but you'll also need a circle, and I've used a punch for that, but freehand it if you want. And I've got a little paper die, little die that does little buttons. So feel free to use a real button if you want, but I'm using a paper one. Let's just pop those 2 out for my paper button. So let me show you how I've made it then. So grabbing a scoreboard, let's pop that in there. So your 2-inch card, just going to score down at 1 1/2 all the way down like that. I'm going to flip it over and do it on the other side as well, because I think it just helps. This is a really thick, well, it's about 300 GSM, I think, on this one, because it's obviously it's the bit that's got to hold whatever I pop in there. But actually this is really thin card, and that's quite sturdy really. So yeah, whatever you've got to hand. And then you're just going to do some score lines along the long end at 1.5, at 3, at 4.5, at 6, at 7.5, and at 9. And I'm going to flip it over and do on the other side again. So just to repeat, 1.5, 3, 4.5, 4.5, 6, 7.5, and 9. So I've got some good score marks in there, so I can pop that to one side for now. I'll need it again in a minute. And just getting my bone folder, I'm just going to reinforce those score marks while making sure that my edges are not on the skew-if. So that's all the way along there. So this is the little bit that's left over. This isn't the 1.5 bit the same as this. So this end is the 1.5. This is my 9. So this is my 1 inch. And all I'm going to do is cut off that last square like, oh hello, let's do that straight along that score mark there, like that. Okay, and now just actually that's 1 inch. I'm going to cut that down ever so slightly, so that's probably 3/4 of an inch now. So if you wanted to do it slightly shorter, then that would be 9 3/4 inch rather than 10 inches. I'm going to fold that in half, well, sort of fold it along one of the crease marks, and I'm just going to put some glue on that bit there, like that, and bring this one across and glue that down like that. And you know, I like to get my bone folder and really push that glue into my card. There we go. So now we've got that. So we've got our crease mark there. And this is the way I do it. You can do it before you glue if you want, entirely up to you. But this is the way I do it. I've got my crease mark there. I can see it. And I'm just going to go along and cut like that. So that's one of my creases. And I've just cut across, so that's from the edge to my crease mark, and I create that. And I'm just going to carry on doing that. And this is how I create my tags on this. Tabs, not tags. My tabs. And it's just, I just find this easier than trying to do it, you know, earlier on. This is where I've glued that together, so we've still got to do that. So cut up to the score mark there. Again, there's my score mark, just rolling it round like that, as you can see. So that's the one I've just cut. I'm just rolling it across to the next one and cutting that. And I've got these little triangles flying everywhere. Let's gather them up and get rid of them. So now I've got my hexagonal with all these little tabs there, which will make it nice and easy. If I had it flat, I could cut them, you know, one at a time like that. Excuse me. I could cut it one at a time like that if I wanted, but it's just the way I do it. So, and because we've already scored it and we've gone back and scored it the other way as well, those tags fold down really, really easy. And then all I have to do now is get my hexagonal, and I'm going to feed it through the back from the inside. So what I'm going to do is put some glue on the inside of these tabs. So I'm opening them up one at a time and putting some glue on there. And like I say, if you haven't got a hexagonal die, either hand draw it yourself, or if you've got a circle die or punch, that should do just as well. Just make sure that it comes all the way to the edges. So here we go, like that, and the next one like that. Nearly done, nearly there. And that one. And then all I'm going to do is push them back in like that, and then drop in my hexagonal from the top. And this helps to form the shape, especially if you are using the hexagonal, but also holds it together and finishes off inside a little bit better as well. So using my score tool, I'm just rubbing that. Actually, I'm thinking my pencil, that's the rubber end of my pencil, that might actually be better. So all the way around like that, and there we go. That should now hold inside like that. And then all we have to do then is get our glue and glue on the back of it. So get the glue to come out like that, and don't forget to do the middle bit as well, like that. I would normally leave that shape with something in it to dry, but as I'm on video, I'm going to continue before it dries. Yeah, I think what I might do is grab a bottle of glue or something and put it on the inside. Right, there we go. And using the smaller one, so there's my, those will go like that. So I'm using my smaller one, so the one that measures 2 3/4 by 4.5, and I'm just going to put this on. So what I want to do is line up, where's my join? Let's find my join. There's my join. So the one that's got the join, I'm going to line it up. So that edge there, I'm going to line up here and try and center it on here. So there we go. If I'm slightly under, that's fine, because I can trim that off later. And it should go over ever so slightly on both sides, like that. Let's just have a bit of a wiggle with that. Let's move that across ever so slightly. Oops. Line that up as much as I can. Of course, when you're on camera, nothing wants to go to plan. There we go. So that's all lined up. And again, I'm just going to get my pencil and push that all down. And I can see I've got a glue bottle in front of me, so I'm going to pop that in there to hold that all down in there and move that over that side. Actually, I've got a bigger one. Might have, no, that's too big. No, that one will have to do for now. There we go. And I'll pop that to one side as well. I've got my glue bottle. So while that's drying, I'm going to work on the lid. So on this bit of the cap. So again, bringing in my scoreboard, I'm going to score this at 1.5 all the way down. Okay, and I'll do that on both sides as always. And then this time I'm going to score not every 1.5 inches, It's 1 5/8 of an inch. So the measurements are 1 5/8 of an inch, and the next one is 3 1/4, then 4 7/8. So go to 5 and come one down, 5 7/8, then 6 1/2, then 8 1/8. So go to 8 and go one more, that's 8 1/8, and the last one is 9 6/8. So go to your 10 and go, oh well, 9 6/8 is 9 3/4, isn't it really? So yes, 9 3/4, like that. And then you've got your template done. I'm just going to flip it over, and again going back, so 1 5/8, 3 1/4, 4 7/8. So go to your 5, then drop down one notch, and you're there. 6 1/2, 8 1/8, and 9 3/4. There we go. I can pop my scoreboard away like that. Okay, so this time what you're going to do is you're going to cut away. So you've got at this end, I just fold it like that. All your folds are every 1 5/8 wide. The last one is about 1/2 inch, and you're going to cut away one of those rectangles. So up the score line to where it meets the 1 1/2 inch score line, and just cut that away like that. Okay, now I do need my score line one more time. So this is going to be your tag, so that's going to glue like that, and these are going to be the bits. So this side is going to be the bits that form that. So as you can see, they come to points. So this is the tricky bit. So I know half of, in fact I'm going to flip it over so I've got the other end to start off with. So I know that half of 1 1/2 is 3/4, but then I've got that extra little 1/8 of an inch, and there's nothing there that's going to help me. So what I've done is I've gone to 3/4 of an inch, and I know if I go to the next one, so if I go to 7/8 of an inch, that's going to be too much. That's more than halfway. If I go to 3/4, that's less than halfway. So I'm just going to put a mark right in the middle of that notch there. If I make the mark so you can see it, and I'm going to lift that up so you can see. So that is right in the middle of that, between 3/4 and 7/8. So I've made a mark, and all I'm going to do now is cut from that mark to this edge here. Okay, so this is to form the top of our baseball cap. So I'm just going to cut down like that. So I've got a triangle which is about halfway on the between each segment. So again, let's get rid of that. Oops, and I've dropped my scissors. Oops, everything's flying everywhere. So now what I want to do, and because I've made that mark on that, I'm going to have that on the inside. So now what I'm going to do, again, like I did with the base, I'm just folding it over, and I'm going to put some glue on that end there. Actually, what I forgot to do is reinforce those folds that I made a few minutes ago. Making sure that both edges line up so it's nice and straight. So because I made the mark there, I'm going to put that on the inside, so I'm just going to fold that over, put some glue on that tab there, and in fact, do you know, thinking about it, this is my first time of doing it properly, I'm going to ever so slightly angle that tab. Did I say saying tab? Ever so slightly, like that, so hopefully you can see. And I'm bringing that in and putting some glue on that tab. There I go again, saying tag. Got tags on the brain. So I put glue on there, bringing that in and fold it over, making sure that these all line up nice and straight on that line. And again, bringing in my bone folder just to reinforce all of those lines and to push that glue into the cardstock. And this time, now I've got my notch there, this time I'm going to do exactly the same as I did before, folding it flat, but I've already got a guide to about halfway. So using that guide, I'm going to snip up like that and then open it out. And now what I'm going to do is snip from the score line to join here, so that I know now, I just do that. So there's my score line here. I'll just put a pencil mark there so you can see. There's my score line, and I'm going to snip from that score line up to that top. So I've now got that. So I know that's about halfway between the two. And I'm just going to keep on doing it. Roll that over. So there's my next one. I pop that in there like that so you can see. So there's my next one. I'm going to get my scissors. I don't want to cut my black card. So I'm going to get my scissors and again snip from the crease line up to the point. And all I've created is that. So this is the bit that I've just cut off from there. So I've created another one of those, and I'm just going to go and do that all the way along. So there's my crease line, there's my crease line. So starting at the crease line and just going straight up to that point, and I've created another point. I'm doing that all the way along like that, because it's just, this is the way my brain works. This is the way that it kind of works for me. If you've got a better method, then do whatever works for you, and let me know, because if there's a better method, I want to know all about it. So let's pop that there. So now I've got that going on. It looks a little bit like a very small child's crown. And then I'm just going to bring the back ends of my bone folder in, and I'm going to curl them ever so slightly in like that. So I don't want to do tons. And actually, before I do anything else, I'm going to rub that pencil mark off there that I made a minute ago, and keep going all the way. I haven't creased on this crease line because I want a nice domed shape. If I had creased on the crease line, they would be quite flat on the inside. So there we go. So now they're already starting to come into the middle. So I've got my, maybe I should have used red. Give me a second, I'm going to do a red one. There we go. Where did I put my punch? I did a black one thinking that would work. I'm thinking actually a red one would be better. So where's my punch? Oh, this one will do. It's a 1 inch punch, the same as the other one I used. So let's pop that in there and punch down like that. I think a red one. So if I put a black one under there, you're going to see it, aren't you? I suppose it might not make any difference. Anyway, I'm going to get some glue on here like that, and all I'm going to do then is start bringing in the points and glue them onto here, which can be a bit fiddly from when I tried earlier. So first thing I'm going to do, actually I could have done with putting the center point on there, couldn't I? First thing I'm going to do is pop that one on, and then just keep coming along and bringing the next one in. So hopefully that grabs fairly quick. And there's the next one. I haven't taken it quite to the center point, but if you think that you want a smaller crown, then that might be better. You might think, actually, I don't like the way yours is worked out, Teresa. I'm going to try a smaller center. So there's the next one. I'm going to put a little bit more glue on here, because I think it's all coming off in my hands. Although perhaps less glue might glue better, but anyway. So I'm going to put my fingers on the inside for this one, because it's starting to come together. And hold that one. Oops. Actually, if I do both of them at the same time, that might work better. And I think I'm just going to have to hold it for a few minutes like that. So I've got a little bit of a gap between them because I didn't go right to the point on the inside, which is what I wanted. I didn't want it too close together. So there's that. Hopefully those have all taken. And I'm just going to get my button, because I think my button will help. Let's push that through. That there. Put that, because they have a button at the top, don't they? Or a little covered button sometimes. So there we go. I'm just going to put that in the middle, and hopefully that will catch. That will catch all of those. Yes, it will. There we go. And actually, having not doing the red, not doing the black on the inside, means that you can see that button much better. It doesn't distract as much. Can you imagine if I'd have put it on the black, you wouldn't even see that that button, would you? So let's take that out and hope this has taken. It feels like it absolutely has. I'm just going to leave that way round while it dries for a second. So let's put some stuff out the way, and I'm then going to bring this one in and glue it underneath there. So some glue. Now you'll notice on both sides I've overlapped. That is absolutely what I wanted to do. So let's get some glue on here. Now I am going to be cutting these bits off, so I'm not going to be going all the way to the edge here with my glue. I will go over slightly just to make sure that my papers do glue together. And all the way around the edges like that. There we go. And lay that on top there like that. And by eye at the front there. There we go, nice and straight. And I leave the back pieces on. I could cut them off now, but I leave after I glue the first piece down. But I think it just helps to sort of line everything up on the cap. And once that's done, that's when I'm coming in with my scissors and just going to take those corners off. And there, whoops, and there. So that's got rid of all of that. Let's get rid of my bits like that. And let's try that. Perfect. Now, these bits I should have put on earlier and I completely forgot. Before I glued it round, I should have glued all of these inside there because it adds some strength to the box, but it also means that it doesn't rattle about so much. Let me just show you what I mean. So when I pop that on there like that, it's a little bit loose. So putting these on the inside just adds a little bit to the stability of the lid, and makes it fit a little bit better. So I'm just very quickly popping these in. Yeah, because when I did the first one, when I did this one, I realised it was very big, and part of that is the paper I was using, because it is only the Poundland easy construction paperwork, but I think part of it was because I've gone 1/8 of an inch, because I haven't got a way of doing less than that, so it's gone bigger. So do that all the way around, making sure that that's lined up at the bottom. Get your bone folder in there, push it together like that, and then once you've got them all on, you pop it on. It fits that little bit much better. I mean, there's still a bit of rattling around, but I haven't got those 3 in yet. And then you can come in with a pen and do some stitch marks all the way around the edge, which I think I'm going to do. And there you go. You can add some more decoration. If you've got some letters, you can put them on the front. You know, whatever you want to decorate it, you can put happy birthday on there or anything. So there you go. That is my interpretation of a baseball hat. Sorry, what did I say? Bat. A baseball hat. So I hope you like it. I'm going to glue those on in a minute. And that is my newest little gift box. Anyway, I hope I haven't gone over, but I will see you all in the next video. Take care. Bye for now.